Hey Flosstube, it's Katie the Stash Queen coming to you on this Monday, October the 24th. I hope everyone has had a great stitchy week. I had a very good week stitchy-wise. I have a mini finish. I have some real finishes. Got a lot stitched, got a lot of progress, have a ton of stuff to talk about today. So I'm going to go ahead and just jump right in. Start as always with my Q&A. Got several questions this week. PharmaGeek06 asked, how do you stay inspired when a less than exciting whip comes up in your rotation even for a day? The timer is your best friend. You can do anything for 15 minutes, 30 minutes. If you're not overly thrilled about a piece, those are the times that I really recommend you using a timer and rewarding yourself after the timer goes off with a piece that you may be more inspired by. Every stitch, as I have said many times, is a stitch closer to being done. So even if you only put in 15 minutes, 30 minutes on the piece, you will get closer to being done. I have also found there have been times where there are pieces that before I started stitching on it, I wasn't overly excited necessarily that that was the piece for the day. But as I got stitching on it, I got back in the groove and I started liking it more. So that would be what I would recommend. Determine how long you're willing to sit and stitch on it for that time. Set your timer on your phone or on a clock, and then just get going and have a piece that you're more excited about to reward yourself after. Karen Davis Mackina asked, what is the best fabric calculator to use? I use the XStitch app, which is from Stitching the Night Away. It's on my phone. I will put, I can't put a link to it below because it's in your, it should be in your app store, but I'll write the name of the app down in the description below. Tammy Neal asked, how can you tell if your floss is too old before you start using it? I have a lot of what I would call vintage floss. If it feels too, let me say this, I don't know of a way that you can automatically determine, oh no, I can't use this floss. I have used vintage floss without a problem. What I usually do is I will look at it, feel it, maybe test out a few stitches. If it's breaking apart really easily, then it's probably too old. But most of the DMC I have used hasn't been a problem. So I think you can use vintage floss, however old you want to consider vintage, without an issue. Just be mindful as you're using it. If it starts giving you issues, then it might be too old. Clumsy Stitcher had some ideas for things to do on Stitchmania, like a Flosstube viewers poll, best new corner, who's the most missed. What do I think? I like the thought of the idea, but Stitchmania has grown to over 4,500 members, which is insane, but it's awesome. We have so many Flosstubers. We have a big list in the documents in the document section of our group that has all sorts of Flosstubers on it. I would worry that doing something like that might lead to unintentional hurt feelings or something along those lines. So we'll keep it as an idea for the future, but right now we're not going to probably pursue that right at this time, just because, like I said, we don't want any hurt feelings, and there are so many members. If you are a member of Stitchmania and you have not added yourself to the Flosstube list, go to the files, put your channel in the comments, I will get it added. Mickey WMS said, how do you remember where all of your needle minders are from? I get this question often. I only buy from certain needle minder vendors, which, by the way, Minding My Minders is closing as of November 1st. So if you want anything from Minding My Minders, get there now. But I only buy from a few places, and I have certain things that I buy from each of those places, and then I also put it in my XStitch app when as I am kitting up a piece where the needle minder is from. Arlene Grimm said, Katie, can you show us some of your finished pieces that you have done and finished? Most of my finished pieces fall into 3 categories. One, they're Christmas pieces. So right now they're packed away and I can't get to them very easily. I showed most of them that were done last year around Christmas time when I pulled out my stockings, a few ornaments that I had finished, a couple of decorations. Another categories are the finishes that I've started or that I've done since I started on Flosstube, like Happy Everything, like the Letters from Nora T, like the Doctor Who clock that I have shown the FFOs in here already. And I don't want to bring you into my son or daughter's crazy bedrooms where those things are hanging. And then the other category are things that aren't actually in my home. It wasn't until about a year or two ago that I really started stitching for myself. Everything else that I had really stitched at that point, if it wasn't Christmas themed, went to someone else. My sister has a piece. My other two bridesmaids for my wedding have pieces. My mom has a few at her house that I've done. I've got a couple of other people who have different pieces, so I don't have them all here to show you. But I have shown things in my videos. I know there's a lot of them. This is 101 or something, 102. So I know that it's hard to go back and pinpoint, but I show them as I have them ready to show you guys. So let's see here. Sandra Gerard asks, as always, I love your videos. I'm so impressed with your planning process. I'm a planner nerd, but I didn't get to this point in my cross-stitching. Do you have a dedicated planner for your cross-stitching? I don't have a dedicated planner to my cross-stitching. I use the XStitch app, which is brilliant because it keeps everything in alphabetical order in the journal section. And that's how I do my rotation. So that's really good when I am starting random pieces, because my pieces don't start, I don't do my year of starts in alphabetical order. But if I wrote it all in an actual physical journal, it could get really complicated as I'm having to add things in alphabetically where things go. So I just use the XStitch app. That really works for me. Let's see here. Karen Monick said, can you tell me what you use the Color Infusion memory thread for? Do you have a sample to show? I don't have a sample to show yet. The ones that I am collecting that I've shown you guys are all from my Spirit of Oz Santa, and I will show you, that's actually up this week for my annual Mania Sal, so I will show you the picture of it and you can see some of how it was used on their sample photo. But I haven't used it yet myself. Let's see here. Char Ferrone said, this is going to be a strange question. Are you sitting on the chair or the floor? Because your handles and your cover make me think you're on the floor. I'm on the floor. I have too much stuff. And this room isn't done yet. So, yeah, I'm sitting on the floor. Christine Cannon, how long does it take for you to plan the year of starts? How do you go about it? How do you start? Do you keep a running list of things you want to start? Or you just go through your stash magazines and books? Okay. So this is what I did for last year and what I have done, or this year and what I have done for this upcoming year. I sat down and I started flipping through I went through my charts that I had. I went through magazines. I went through books. I went through my electronic patterns. I just started going through my stash and pulling things out that I wanted to do. If I knew that there were going to be some certain stitch-alongs going on, I had that list next to me so I could match things up with stitch-alongs. Things I wanted to start at certain times, like what I wanted to start on my birthday, what I wanted to start on January 1st. I just kind of filled things in and I have a list. So I have an Apple Macintosh laptop. And I have an app on there that is called the Stickies app. It's like sticky notes that you put on the desktop. And I have several sticky notes that I use for... let me actually see here. Let's see if I can show you guys. Hold on. We're going to try to flip this around. No, actually, we can't flip it around while I've got this going, I don't think. But I have just different sticky notes, one for each month, indicating the dates and what I want to work on what date. And then when I am going through each month, I will start pulling everything that I need based on that list that I made. So I've already made a list for 2017. I haven't pulled anything for it yet because I'm still finishing 2016. But I have a list of what I want to start on what day. And that's just kind of how I did it. It took me a few days to go through everything. I'm still making changes. I've made changes in the 2016 one as I have gone along. I've added things in as new patterns have come out that I have to stitch. And that sort of thing. It's just, the thing about the year of starts, you have to be flexible. Yes, organization helps. Yes, having a large stash helps. Yes, having supplies helps. But you've got to be flexible. You have to understand that some days you may not actually get to your start and you may have to do 2 starts in a day. You may want to flip things out, and that's fine. You also need to know what kind of stitcher you are yourself. I know plenty of stitchers who are like me. Sorry, itchy nose. It's the curse. But there are plenty of stitchers like me who have no problem having tons of whips going on at a time. And that's great. And there are people who are the exact opposite of me and can't have a bunch of whips going because it makes them anxious. Don't do it if it makes you anxious. Don't do it if it makes you stressed. This isn't something that's supposed to be stressful. It's supposed to be fun. And the moment you stop having fun with it is the moment you should stop doing it. So know what kind of stitcher you are, and just be flexible. I kind of just sat back and stuck things in the dates, and that's what worked for me. The Swept Away Stitcher says, I wonder if you are starting making plans for your art gallery for all your pieces once they are finished. Kind of. I have some plans for the walls in this room whenever I get this room set up, and some other places in my house. So I have ideas of where things are going to go when they're finished, but sure, I have an art gallery planned. Terry Codwalder, sorry if I mispronounced your name, Terry. I see that you've torn some patterns out of magazines and some that are not. How do you keep all of these patterns organized? Do you keep them with the whip, or do you have some other system? Okay. Here is my system. If it is small enough, if the pattern is small enough to fit in the bag that I use Ziploc gallon-sized bags for holding all of my stuff in. Like your Mirabilia squares, like something like the Brooks Books little things. If it will fit in the bag easily, I will leave it in the bag. Magazines, I do not rip out of any of the Just Cross Stitch ornament issues or the Just Cross Stitch Halloween issues, because I want to keep those intact. I don't rip out of books either. But any other magazines, like the monthly ones that you get, I will pull the patterns out. And I've got 3 of these binders that look like this. 2 of them have my whips. One goes A through M, one goes N through Z. See, we've got all the different patterns and little page protectors. And here's the other one. And then I have one more that's much less filled now. These are all of my upcoming Year of Starts pieces that I have in here. So I keep them separately, and I'm gonna have to start filling it up here soon for the 2017 one. But when I am working on something from the Year of Starts, I pull it from the Year of Starts binder, and then I have another binder that I carry downstairs with me that keeps all of my whips, or all the pieces that I'm working on this week. I just keep it in the binder, or if I'm using it out of a magazine or a book, I just bring that downstairs too. Then when I am done with the piece for that week and I'm putting it away, it goes back in alphabetical order. They've got alphabetical dividers and stuff in there. So small enough to stay in there, it goes in with the whip. Usually it's Mira's, Lizzie Kate, some Bent Creek. Some of those will go in there. But if it fits into a page protector, it goes in a page protector. Hazel Day asked, how do you decide what count fabric to use for each pattern? Do you go with the suggested, or do you just use what takes your fancy? I use what takes my fancy. There are times I will use the recommended fabric. I know it's a shocker. But most of the time, I use whatever I want to use. I prefer 28 and 32 count Jobelan generally, or I'll use 32 Belfast a lot because that's what I get from Under the Sea Fabrics for my fabric of the month. But I usually prefer to go by I will determine what size fabric I need, and then I will go through my stash and I will find a fabric that I think fits the best for the piece. Not necessarily by count, but by color, style, design, aesthetic, that sort of thing. And it's worked well for me. The only time that I really need to worry about that is if it calls for a 28 on the pattern and I go down to a 32 and there's beading, I might have to adjust the beads, or vice versa. But really, it's whatever takes my fancy that I decide to use it on. And then Mimola Stitches asked, you're going to have 2 big finishes in a couple of months from your monthly sales. Actually, 3, but yes. Wondered how you're going to FFO them. It's going to be 3. It's going to be the 2 from Clouds Factory and the 1 from Frosted Pumpkin are going to be done in December. I've debated on how I'm going to do it. I think for my pumpkin passport, I think I'm going to get that one framed. It may not be right away, but I think the plan is to get that one framed. The 2 from Clouds Factory, the Magical Creatures, I am thinking of making into a wall hanging. And then the postcards, I'm not sure if I want to make it framed or maybe do a no-sew cube. I haven't really decided yet. The pumpkin passport, I'm almost positive I'm going to get framed, just because of all of the Whovian changes and all of that kind of stuff. So, but I haven't fully decided yet. I have a pile of things I need to FFO. that's just not my priority. And that is all of my questions for the week. Thank you guys, as always, for your questions. If you have any questions for me that I haven't answered, please feel free to put them in the comments below, and I'll be happy to answer them next week. All right, week in review. We will start, oops, let me scroll this a little bit better. We will start with my monthly stitch alongs. This past week, I worked on the Frosted Pumpkin Passport by Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. As you all know, I am Hoovionizing it. And this is done on 28 Joblin and Ice Goddess from Hand-Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie, using flosses and silks from Mo's sale. And this month, we went to Australia. So there is my Australia. And the Hoovian changes I made, I put the Hello Sweetie on Ayers Rock. I made the boat that was in there into the pirate ship from the Black Spot. I put there's the Australian flag. That's kind of hard to do. Oh, and it's hard to tell, but the koala is holding a piece of celery in honor of the 5th Doctor. Yeah. So, and then I finished the top border, the scarf. Now so I still have the bottom one to do, but this is the whole piece at this point. But I'm waiting until after December comes out, because the way I have done this scarf, it starts up here and it goes all the way across, then down and back over, then down, then back over. So I wanted to have December done so I can go down and back over. But it's getting close. I really think I'm going to frame this. So I'm very pleased with it. So that is done for November. That was the only monthly style I got to. So I only have one left for this month. I'll work on that this week. Then my focus for a finish is Sunday's You're the House by Coffee Stitcher Designs. And I am doing it on a 28 Joblin solo dye from Silk Weavers. And I'm substituting out flosses for primarily Dragonfly Lotus flosses. But here's where I am at this point. The house is done. The text on the bottom I've worked on. So I'm almost done with the bottom here. I have this little hat that I need to outline, and then there's another hat that goes over here, and then there's some bricks down here, and then I can move to the top and do the wording and the bricks up there, and then I'll be done. I'm really close to finishing this. And my minder is my little Wicked Witch from Nifty Needle Nannies. So I'll keep working on that this week. Then for my annual Mania Sal, this past week, it was a Chatelaine week for me, so I was working on my Medieval Town Mandala. And I am doing that on 32 Lugana in Truffle from Picture This Plus, and I am very pleased with the progress I made this week on this. Let's see. Here we go. Yay! All the sparkle in that middle section is done. So I started working then, moving to the leaves that are on the outside for some flowers. Most of the flower part won't be, I'll be able to do the leaves and the stems, but the flowers are beads, and I'm doing the beads at the end. But look at all that sparkle. Look at all that sparkle. So I'm very pleased with that. So next time this comes up, I'll work more on these leaves and stems. And then I think there's some back stitching and a couple of the specialty stitches I need to do before I move on to the next part. So, and my minder is the City of Camelot Needleminder for minding my minders. I was very happy. Lots of Rainbow Gallery Petite Treasure braid there. Then for the monthly Mania Sal, we're doing Bats and Smalls for this month. And I told you guys last week I was going to work on the My Little Ponies from Pixels and Stitches. They're all done. Yay! So all 6 of these are done. And I counted them as 6 individual finishes because I'm going to cut them all out of the perforated plastic, back them, and attach magnets eventually for them. So I'm excited. My daughter's excited because these are for her. They all came out really, really cute. Rarity is my favorite of the ponies, but of these stitched up, I like Twilight and I like Rainbow Dash the best. So yay! Bye to these guys. They're all done. So the Let me put it in here. The week 4, or once I finished these, I think I finished these with a day or two up to spare for the week. I moved on to the Just Cross Stitch Ornament issue 2007. I am working on Christmas Lace Snowflake by Rosewood Manor. And I am doing this, and I forgot to write it down. I think it's 32 Belfast and Knits from Under the Sea Fabrics, and I'm using Krinnick and beads from Stitchy Box. And here's where I am at this point. There's so many errors in this, it's not even funny. But it looks pretty and you can't tell. So I'm really happy with this. I'm going to keep working on this for the rest of the month and we'll see how far I get. It's so pretty. Then that brings us to the year of starts for this past week. I got through them all. First one we had was the Elegant Ornament Quartet number 2, ornament number 2, which is this one right over here. And this is from Just Cross Stitch December 2014. And here is where I got at this point. This is just being done on 28 antique white Joblin, 28 count. And my little angel needle minder from Nifty Needle Nannies. I'm over 300 starts for the year now. Yeah. Then the next one is from the Better Homes and Gardens Cross Stitch Samplers book, which is a pretty old book, but it's okay. It's the Flower Sampler, which is this one right here. And I am doing that on 32 Joblin in Warm Sugar from Hand-Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. And here's where I got to this point. Just started working on the boring part of getting the borders all put together so then I can fill them in. My minder is a little jewel flower needle minder from Gina's Unique Boutique. Then the next one is from the Jonah It's Bewitching Cross Stitch book. It's the series of the Enchanted Life words. I started Hope this month. This one right here. And all of them are being done on 28 Joblin in Rhiannon from Hand-Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. And here is where I got to. Lots of swoopy lines at this point. And my minder is a little girl needle minder from Nessa's Needle Minders. Then the next one is an electronic pattern. I will put a link to it below. It is called Fear Can Make You Kind by Frigid Stitch. It's a quote from Doctor Who. And I am doing this on 28 Joblin in Junebug from Hand-Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie using DMC variegated flosses. Here's where I got. This is going to be the word cruel. But that's one of the DMC variegated flosses from the old line. And then I have It's Smaller on the outside minder that Kate, the Queen of Starts, gave me as a present. Then the next two are the Prairie Schooler Alphabet. S is for sewing and T is for time. I love this block. This one's really awesome. And this whole series is being done on 32 Joblin in Toasted Almond from Hand-Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. And here I'll just show you S and T's part. Here is S. The start of that little measuring tape, and there's T. Woo! And here's my little Wonder Woman needle minder from Minding My Minders. I will be starting U this week, so after I start U, I'll show you the whole piece as it stands. And then my last new start for this week was Autumn Fairy by Joan Elliott. And I'm stitching her on 32 Belfast in Harvest Moon from Under the Sea Fabrics. And here is where I got to at this point. And my minder is downstairs because I forgot to put it back on here. So got some of her skirt done. So yeah, that was my starts for the week. I was also able to get to 2 more whips this week and work on those for a little while. The first one was tomorrow from Cross Stitch Needleworks July 2013 issue. This one right down here. And these are all being done on perforated plastic. So here is where I got to at this point. My upside down Minecraft Creeper Needleminder from Nifty Needle Nannies. And then the other one is an electronic pattern that I'll put a link to below. It's the Tree of Life from Heaven and Earth Designs, and I'm doing it on 20 count Lugana, white Lugana. Here's where I got to. And that's as far as the first page goes across, so. And I have my little Heaven and Earth Designs Needleminder. So that was my week. This next week is going to be busy. I will work on the Lakeside Needlecraft style this week because that's the only one I have left that I haven't finished this month. I will keep working on my Focus or Finish with Coffee Stitchers 7 Days Through the House. This week for my annual Mania Sal, it's a Brooks Books week, and like I mentioned, I'm going to be doing the Oz Santa. Now, if you see where the dolls are hanging from, that's actually a bunch of that memory thread twisted together to make a rainbow. And then they've got some other ribbon and stuff, and there's some more twisted thread. I think that's more of the memory thread on the hot air balloon. So there's a whole bunch of instructions on how to do it in the book, or in the pattern. I just have not gotten to that part yet. Here is where I am at this point. I have finished Dorothy, Toto, Tin Man, Scarecrow, and Lion. I was working on the Flying Monkey, and then there's Glinda on this one, and then I can move on to the next piece of paper. So, but I'm not cutting any of them out or doing any of that until everything's done because I don't want to lose these little pieces. I'll do like beading and back stitching, but I won't do cutting out. So I'll see how much I get done. Then today actually is the 24th. So it is time for another Color a Day Stitch Along in Stitch Mania. This month we are doing variegated threads. So I have pulled out my Kaleidoscope Flower from Sampler Cove. And I am doing this on 28 Joblin and Circe from Hand-Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. And I'm using Margaritaville floss from Mo's Sale. So here's where I was able to get to when I last worked on it. And my minder is my little colorful wolf needle minder from Minding My Minders. So I'll put a little bit of time in this today, get some more of that variegated floss on there. And it's much more accurate back here, the color of the fabric. Don't know why it does that. So that'll be worked on today. Then tomorrow, I'm excited about. Tomorrow is 2 weeks until Election Day. Get out and vote if you're an American. I'm not going to tell you who to vote for, but go vote. Make your voice heard. Every vote counts. But we are doing a 2-week challenge in Stitch Mania that starts tomorrow and goes through Election Day for the Stitch Mania election countdown. And I will say again, just like I won't tell you who to vote for, we don't take sides in the political debate for this Stitch Along. You don't have to be American to participate in the Stitch Along. All of the things we have picked out can work for any country if you want to participate. But it's going to be fun. So I'm going to show you the first 6 pieces because it'll start Tuesday through next Sunday. And I'll show you what I got. So on the 25th, the theme is Red States. So you stitch on a piece with red in it. And I'm going to work on my Queen of Freedom by Mirabilia. And this is being done on 32 Belfast in Glory from Under the Sea Fabrics. And I haven't gotten much on her, and it hasn't red yet, but I'll pull out red to work on for that flag. And then I have a little blingy star needle minder from Nifty Needle Nannies. See, this is what I mean. This Mira, the package fits in there, so I'll put it in there. See? Then on the 26th, the theme is build a wall. So we stitch on a piece with a wall in it, and my pattern is an electronic pattern. It's Sampler Through the Stones by Crown Street Cottage, and I'm stitching this on 32 Belfast and Umbriel from Under the Sea Fabrics, and here is where I am at this point. I'm going to finish the roof because the walls hold up the roof. And then I've got my little Outlander Needleminder from Minding My Minders. Then on the 27th, the theme is blue states. For those of you that don't know, red states are states that typically go Republican. Blue states are the states that typically go Democrat. And then there's purple states that they're the toss-ups, can go either way. So the 27th is blue states, stitch on a piece of blue in it, and I'm going to do my Patriotic Sampler from Jeanette Douglas Designs. And this is being done on 28 Joblin and Liberty from Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. And here's where I got to last time I worked on it. My minder is Patriotic Needleminder from Brenda's Minders and More. So I'll work on the blue in this piece. Then on the 28th, the theme is First Female Major Party Candidate. You don't have to like her to realize that Hillary is that first major female party candidate. So we stitch on a piece with a woman in it, and I'm going to do my Amidala series by Fangirl Stitches. It's an electronic pattern. I'll put a link to it below. But I'm doing this on 28 Joblin and Winterfell from Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. And I took all three of the Amidala patterns for all of her costumes, and I'm doing it as one piece. So I'll continue working on this one, maybe start the next one, and then have my little Amidala Needleminder from Minding My Minders. Then on the 29th, Purple States, stitch on a piece with purple in it. I'm going to work on Let's Do Wine by Ursula Michael, because we all need a drink by the time this is over. And I am stitching this on 32 Lugana in Sorbet from Picture This Plus using silks from Mo's Sale. And here's where I am at this point. I would like to finish the bottle with the words on it, and then I'll just leave the border, but we'll see what happens. And then my minder says, I love wine. Sometimes I even wear it, from Minding My Minders. And then on the 30th, which is Sunday, it's Make Whips Great Again. And the idea is to stitch on a whip you haven't stitched on in a long time. So I decided to pick up my Cirque de Circles by Ink Circles. And I'm doing this on 32 Joblin in Mermaid Seas from Under the Sea Fabrics using Capital Silk from Mo's Sale. And here is where we are at this point. So this entire piece is going to be done in that silk. So that's all as far as I've gotten to it for now. And my minder is a little blingy artist palette needle minder from Gina's Unique Boutique. So those are all the plans for this first week of the Election Day Stitch Along. Come back next week for more. And like I said, if you're American, go vote. Make your voices heard. Every vote is going to count, no matter which side you are on. So, year of starts. First pattern that I'm going to work on this week is an electronic pattern. I'll put a link to it below. It is Anne of Green Gables by Pixel Power. And I'm going to be doing it on 32 count linen with petite point blue with white polka dots from Stitchy Box, because I just think that's cute. And I have my little bird nest needle minder from Nifty Needle Nannies. Then the next one is going to be U from the Prairie School Alphabet, which is U for Unlock. So you've already seen the piece, but it's going to be that one. Then the next one is Tiramisu from Glendon Place. And I am stitching this on 28 Lugana and Mesa from Picture This Plus. This looks pretty orange, but I think it's still going to look really pretty with it. And my minder is a little, with enough coffee, I would rule the world minder for Minding My Minders. Then the next one is going to be my winter quilt from the 5 Seasons of Quilts, which is this one right up here. And I am stitching that on 32 Ghana in Conifer from Picture This Plus. It's a pretty pine green color. And my minder is a little penguin needle minder from Nifty Needle Nannies. And I actually have 8 starts this week, and I'll explain why in a minute. The next one is going to be my US sampler. This is from Just Cross Stitch July-August 2012. And I am stitching this on 32 Opal Belfast and Santa's Suite from Hand-Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. Very red. If I need to, I will outline some of the red in the piece, but I thought it was pretty. And my minder is a little Uncle Sam needle minder from Minding My Minders. Then these last 3 are all electronic patterns. The first one is, and I'll put links to them all below, Sense and Sensibility by Fangirl Stitches, and I am going to be stitching this on 32 Belfast and Whimsical from Picture This Plus. I got it from Stitchy Box. And my minder says, "It isn't what we say or think that defines us, but what we do," which is a quote from Sense and Sensibility. And that's from Minding My Minders. Then the next one is Cinderella by Donna Stitch, and I'll put a link to it below. And I'm going to be stitching it on 32 Joblin in Red Skies at Night for Under the Sea Fabrics. And my minder is a little mini Cinderella needle minder from Nifty Needle Nannies. And then this last one is for Sunday, which happens to be Tracy P's birthday. Happy birthday, early Tracy P. And she is having a little stitch along. But for a freebie from Primitive Hair, which is Sister Stitcher. It's electronic. I'll put it below. So I'm going to start that on her birthday. And I'm going to be doing it on 32 Joblin in Sea Witch from Under the Sea Fabrics. There's my little Girl Power needle minder from Nifty Needle Nannies. And I've decided that I'm going to go through these dinky dies that I got from the little grab bags and make mine out of the dinky dies. Don't know which colors yet, but that's what I'm going to use. So those are my starts for this week. 8 of them. It's going to be a really busy week. Then, because I had 2 whips that I did this week, I pulled 2 more whips out. I'm not going to show you the holdovers. I'll show you the new ones. First one is Ukrainian Eggs, the series from Just Cross Stitch April 2015. I started each of them individually for the year of starts, but I'm counting it as one piece for my whip purposes. And it is being done on 32 Joblin in Sailor's Delight from Hand-Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. And here is where we are at this point with all 3 of them. My goal is to work on some of these hanging threads I have behind it and get those done. And then I have my little egg needle minder from Nifty Needle Nannies. And then the other whip that I pulled for this week is my Victorian Lady from Joan Elliott. And she is done on 28 Jaslyn in Strawberry Swirls from Under the Sea Fabrics. And here is where she is at this point. My little pretty cameo needle minder from Minding My Minders. So yeah, really busy week planned ahead. Let's see how much of this I get done. And that's not all to show. So next I have got, everything after this is stash positions and a magazine flip through, because I'm going to, I have been saying for a while that I would do the Just Cross Stitch ornament issue flip throughs. I've decided that I'm never going to get to that video as a separate video, so I'm just going to pull them once a week when I'm doing these videos, and I will show them at the end after I do everything else. And I'm just going to start with the oldest and go through the current one, and however many weeks it takes. I may do that with the Halloween issues later on too. That's just going to be the easiest thing for me. So we're going to start first off with the countdown box for the Halloween countdown box from Stitchy Box. So we have day 18 through 24 to show today. So day 18 was chartreuse seed beads It says, the size 11 seed beads from Mayuki are the perfect slimy color, don't you think? Your package has approximately 2 grams of beads. Y'all know I love my bling. Then on day 19, this is really cute. I already have an idea of where I'm going to use it too. It is a jack-o'-lantern charm. It's this little smiling pumpkin, would make a great focal point to your next project or Halloweeny scissor fob. Not planning on using it for a scissor fob. I have a piece that I think I'm going to eventually use for it. Then on day 20, it's this lovely piece of fabric. It is Springfield Sage fabric. The Springfield Sage is a new fabric colorway from Witchelt. This 28 count Lugana works well with a variety of fibers and flosses. Try experimenting with the ones in this shipment. So it looks kind of gray on the screen, but it's like a gray-green color. Then on day 21, warbling, we have these really pretty vintage check glass beads. These transparent vintage check size 11 seed beads were reportedly made between the late 1800s and the 1920s. Imagine all the history they've seen. Your package is approximately 2 grams. So antique beads. Then on day 22, we had this really pretty floss from Ship's Manor. It's Thunder Cotton Floss. This stormy overdyed purple and gray cotton floss from Ship's Manor will give your project a dark, mysterious air. Use 2 strands on lower count fabrics and 1 strand on higher count. It's a really pretty color. Day 23 is a little hard to show. It's 3 sets of these little cabochon settings with the little glass piece that go into it. So there's 3 of these. And it says, I'm in love with these teeny tiny cabochon settings. You can use them in your stitching, make them into needle minders, all sorts of things. Be sure to check out today's post for all of my experiments with them. I do have an idea of where I'm going to use these too, but it's not until next year. And then the last one is today's. Oops, don't want to lose those little pieces. The 24th. And it's these pretty mother of pearl buttons. These delicate little buttons would make an excellent accent to a stitched piece or in finishing. Use them shiny side down for a vintage creepy doll I found in my attic vibe. So they're really pretty. So yeah, though that is this week in Stitchy Box. Next week I will, or in the Halloween countdown at least, next week I will show you all the last little bits and pieces. These have been so fun. But that's not all we got from Stitchy Box. I got my actual Stitchy Box shipment for September and October this month. So let me show you all of the lovely fun things in this box. So the September-October theme was Wooded Path in Autumn. So that's the color scheme. It says, welcome to the second year of Stitchy Box. Our second autumn-themed shipment was inspired by Wooded Path in Autumn. I'm so happy to have a number of returning suppliers in this shipment, including our shipment sponsor, Ship's Manor. Eric knocked it out of the park with a gorgeous silk thread he dyed up for us. So here we go. We have, I will start, not with that. Let's do the Awesome Stitchy fabric. I got this really pretty 28 count even weave in Simply Sage from Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie, which we have seen me use in other pieces, so I'm excited about that. Put them all a little back in here. Then from the fabulous, you can tell I've already opened this, the fabulous threads that we got this month. Get them all out here. This one is really cool. It's from the Pure palette. It's Baroque Silk. And it is, what is this color? What does it say? It doesn't say. It's Dilot Sep 16. But it's really pretty. Look at that. Then we have a Weeks in blue jeans, which I need, so that's good. Then we have a pretty Valdani. This one, let's see, does it say what it is? It just says Valdani. Oh, and Blackened Teal, the Heirloom Collection. Then we have the limited edition Gentle Arts, which I forgot to look up the name for, but it's another pretty color scheme. Then we have Acrylic Silk Mori. This one is avocado, I believe. And then the last one is the Ship's Manor Silk. It's in Lamplight. It's also very pretty. Then we have embellishments. So it came with this really cute brass acorn charm. And also these really cute little brass leaves, as well as this Lady Dot algae hand-dyed chenille. It really does look like algae, doesn't it? So for finishing. And then you all know that I get the attachment, or not the attachments, the extra bits as well. The Stitch It Up for September, October, the pattern. It's Oak and Acorn by Lindsay Lane Designs. It's very cute. And it uses the flosses and the stuff that came with the kit. And came in the rest of the package. Then for Button It Up, this is the Wooded Path Blend, a Stitch It Box exclusive from Just Another Button Company. So all these pretty little buttons, which are very nice. And then blending it up. Let's see how many there were this month. There are. Is that all of them? No. We'll get them all out here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 little packages of beads. So worth it. So worth it. Okay, so let me show you what all it came through. This is some Swarovski 3mm pearls in iridescent green. These are Swarovski 8mm Rivoli metallic sunshine pieces. These are Toho size 15 seed beads in dark topaz transparent. Gotta go faster. I gotta go pick up the kids soon. Mayuki size 11 seed beads in matte medium dark green iris. This is Mayuki size 11 beads in dyed light apricot SL alabaster. This is Toho size 15 seed beads in semi-glazed prickly pear. This is Precosa size 11 seed beads in transparent navy blue. Cobalt blue color, my favorite. It's hard to see from... They're blue, I promise. These are size 11 vintage check transparent yellow. I wonder if they're as old as the transparent orange ones were in the Halloween box. These are Delica size 11 in dyed emerald silk satin. This is Delica size 11 in opaque patriotic blue matte. This is Delica size 11 in transparent pale green mist. These are Precosa size 11 opaque rust. And then these are Precosa glass beads in the dark olive leaf shape. Bling it up is so worth it. Liz is amazing. So, rest of my haul, or my stash positions. I got a lovely rack from Kristen in Stitchmania. She messaged me because she had some flosses. She knew I used the jottery threads, and so she had some that she wasn't planning on using that she wanted to send me. And she sent me so much more than that. It was so sweet of her. She sent me a sweet card. I'm not going to go through all of these flosses just because there's a bunch. But we have 1 pack of Jottery, 2 pack of Jottery, all these little floss away bags of Jottery threads that she'd already separated out, which makes filing them much easier for me. All of that Jottery. Then, oh, and here's more Jottery. Jottery. Then she sent me thread picker silks, which I have never used before. So we have this this selection of them. Rainbow pack number 1. Rainbow pack number 2. That pink, oh my gosh. This is one of the monthly clubs that she sent. It's kind of hard to see what all the colors are, but one of the monthly clubs. And then another monthly club. And then, let's see. Oh, and then she had more Flosstube bags of more thread pickers. So we have more, and more, and more, and more. I'm really excited about these because I've never used thread pickers before. More, and more. And she sent me, get them out from the screen over here, these 2 water lilies in ash. It's really pretty. And then this water lilies in eggshell. And then this water lilies in pine forest. And then she sent me some Gloriana silk floss in leaf green and Halloween green. Can you guess which is which? And then this pretty one also, which is a rosebud green, which is just the Gloriana. So thank you so much. You are awesome. I love it. That's not all I got. I blame Tracy P for this. She mentioned on one of her haul videos that Down Sunshine Lane has a Needleminder of the Month club. I had never purchased from them before, but they have really cool clay needle minders, and a Needleminder of the Month club, heck yeah. So I got my first Needleminder of the month. Isn't that cute? Little cupcake with a pumpkin on top, and it's clay, which is a different type than what I've already been collecting. So that is what I signed up for, is for the clay one each month. So I love it. Thank you, Tracy. I will add Down Sunshine Lane to my links below. Then, of course, there are Santas. But before Santas, we have 2 of the beaded eggs. This is the dragonfly egg, and this is the ladybug egg. These are both part of that series that my tulip egg came from, that are all on beads, that I really liked. Then Santas. This is the Aleutian Santa from the Janlin collection. And then we have, from Mill Hill, we have the Allegheny Santa, the Mandolin Santa, the Snowdrift Santa, and the Cardinal Santa. And then Hirschner's was having a sale, and someone mentioned it on Stitch Mania, and they had back issues of cross-stitch and needlework for less than $1. Less than $1. So I picked up all the issues that they had that I didn't already own. I'm not going to flip through these. If anyone wants to flip through on any of them, comment below and I'll flip through them next week. This is the November 2012, May 2012, May 2013. This is September 2011, September 2013, July 2012, March 2013, May 2006, and September 2012. I have already flipped through all of them myself. There is at least one thing in every one of these magazines that I want to do. This is why I say you have to be flexible when your year starts, because I may be substituting some of them in. But as of like Friday or Saturday, they still had more that were for less than $1. So go to Hirschner's, check it out. All right, flip through. I have picked up the first flip through. This is just cross-stitch November, December 1988. So this magazine does not, I will preface this by saying the pictures are kind of like this. I'm going to have to go in super close for you to see some of these. They're not necessarily as clear to see as the ornament issues are now. This is from when I was 8 years old. So, yeah. So there's the cover. And I'm just going to flip through. It's amazing how different the magazines are now. They're just... So they also have, besides ornaments in this issue, they have some other patterns as well. So this one is Choir Boys. You can tell the styles are very different. This is Ready for Christmas. This is Gingerbread House. I like that one. It's just very, I mean, you can tell this is old because look, California Raisins. This is just an ad, but California Raisins cross stitch. Let's see. It has a Hanukkah piece in here. It's the Hanukkah sampler. Do it on a different fabric, and I think it would be just as pretty today. And I like that they included Hanukkah because they don't always include Hanukkah in Christmas issues. Then this is Santa's Sleigh. Pretty. Then this is 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. These are the ornaments that you saw on the front cover. It's kind of hard to look through all of them, but that's okay. But I can tell, okay, here is some more of the ornaments. Some really pretty ones there. Christmas 1988. Some ones down here. More of those. And here's another page of them. I like this one again here. Are we surprised? It's a crown. And then their patterns are all more paper than they are like the shiny fabric. And it doesn't look like they do as the way they do it now, where it is the different designers have all contributed. They don't distinguish different designers in this one. Let's see what else. So those were ornaments. Then this is called Coffee Break. Just little towels of the holly motif. Here's something about variegated flosses. Again, you can tell, 80s. It's all different stuff about variegated flosses. This is a schoolroom sampler. There are some things in here that I have already planned on doing. I just think it's really interesting to see what all is in here and the differences. And then there's lots of ads that are black and white and your general cross-stitch instructions on how to stitch. So that was the Just Cross Stitch November-December 1988 issue. Yay! So that is all I have for this week. It's almost an hour-long video. Haven't had one of those in a while. I have kitted everything up for November, except for a few things that I'm waiting on for orders. So as soon as that comes in, hopefully this week I can do the November preview video, since November starts next week. Other than that, I hope everyone has a wonderful stitchy week, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!